Hey, in this video I wanted to detail an upcoming auction. It's on site and cataloged, some of it's uncatalogued, and it's in a historic village. What more can you ask for? Let's dive right in with some of my favorites from the sale, as well as a little bit about the town's history. It's an interesting town. So Zoar is a village in eastern Ohio, and it's founded in 1817 by radical pietists, part of the Christian community, which survived as a communal community until 1898 before it was broken down into individual home ownerships. Many of the village's early layout survives, as do the buildings from its utopian origins. All property was communally owned, and the farms, shops, and factories were managed by regularly elected trustees. Many German-style structures have been restored and are part of the Zoar Village State Memorial. There's, I think, 10 restored buildings as part of that museum. And a ton of houses, not a ton, a lot of restored and up and maintained old houses in town. So it's a really neat place to visit. Perfect place to have an on-site auction. There's also an antique show later in the summer, which is neat. So a perfect place for an antique show and an auction, and a perfect place to find some really cool antiques. So it's one thing to have like an historic building, but this is an historic village. So that's really neat. And so everyone loves a single owner collection, but this is a single owner collection in a historic village, so that's really neat. And Joe Louise Brown, the collection is being sold, she ran an estate sale company in Canton. So it's going to be a great sale, especially between the uncatalogued section and the catalog section. So yeah, if you want to bid from home, you can through the catalog sale. But if you really want to you want to go there in person and see what they have uncatalogued. These are photos of the collection as it sat in the house. As you can see, a lot of antiques, a lot of early stuff. And of course, what else would you expect from an antique collector and dealer who has a house in historic Zoar? Perfect place to have an on-site sale. A lot of cool things. You got to come check it out, especially to see what they have that's not cataloged. Okay, here's the auction. These are a few select items that I wanted to showcase. Some of these are the items that the auctioneer thinks are maybe among the better objects or more interesting or potentially most popular. It's also a few of the auctioneer's picks as the stuff they like the best, which isn't necessarily the most expensive things. Let's dive right in. Pie safe, an Ohio pie safe. You don't see, look at those tins. Those are some great tins. You just don't see a ton of Ohio pie safes in auctions anymore. So this is a good opportunity for someone to chase one if they've been looking for one. The sea captain's chest. Look at that paint though. That's nice paint. Appears to be dated 1829. So has notations on the inside and there the original painted date. So pretty cool thing, and that's available. Nice paint though. Love the little form too. With I wish they had a close-up of the handles there on the ends, but those are neat. This is just an item I picked out because you can't have a auction in Ohio or a collection in Ohio without having one of these wood coffee boxes. They made them in a few different places in Ohio, and this one, as you can see, it's Capital Coffee out of Columbus. But yeah, it was sent to Gallipoli. I don't know how you say that. I'm gonna skip over that. I've already said it. Too late for that. Yes, it's a Zoar auction, so of course there's some Zoar furniture. Check that out. Big old step back. Walnut, so you know it's nice and light. That's sarcasm for those who are gonna blame me when they buy this and this thing's heavy as all get out. But it's walnut. It's heavy. It's made in Ohio. Of course, it's heavy. All Ohio furniture is heavy because it's all walnut. That's not true, but you get what I'm saying. Check out this blanket chest. So the auctioneer actually collects blanket chests, but he's not planning on bidding on this, even though I think he would like it. He just knows this is a screamer and it's going to do well. Look at that surface on that paint too. Very, very nice. Blanket chest for those people, and it's an Ohio decorated one, so attributed to the Long family, possibly Tobias Long. I don't know anything about Ohio blanket chests, but that seems like a good one. More Ohio furniture. There's actually a lot of Ohio furniture in this sale. Several pieces from Zoar. I've only highlighted a couple of the Zoar pieces, and this one is not from Zoar, but it is an Ohio dry sink. Pretty interesting form. Neat backsplash. Those are also heavy because they're all from walnut. I actually sold a crock from, I don't know how you say this either, Metamoris, Ohio recently, and I can tell you from looking it up, comps, they're very desirable. So here's a 2-gallon. It has been re-glued. There's a crack. You can actually see it right around the 2 there, but that's a lot of blue.
and a rare town from Ohio for a croc. This is lovely. This is one of those things that super primitive people love, but also sort of like modern art. People looking for outsider art will appreciate this quilt. That's a lot of color. That would look really cool hanging on a wall. I'm not really a quilt guy, but I do appreciate them when they're this interesting and nice. I'd love to have that in the back of my wall in a booth. That's a nice quilt. Oh my god, it's another piece of Zoar furniture. Another piece of Ohio furniture. This piece is attributed to Zoar. Yep, walnut. But also some butternut. So, there you go. Nice heavy walnut piece of furniture. Here's some Ohio croc. There's numerous crocs in this. I didn't highlight all of them. This one is attributed to Ohio, as you can see. Nice 3-gallon, big lug handles. There you go. A nice Ohio croc. Sorry if I'm going too fast, but just to give you an idea of what's in the sale. The Ohio wardrobe, also attributed to Zoar. He says it has a nice old finish. Those things are also heavy. I don't know why my back's just... I'm thinking about my back right now. I'm not even bidding on the furniture. It's heavy, but it's heavy because it's quality walnut. Pair of early American portraits. This already has a couple bids, and we're a bit away from the sale, so you can tell it's a good sign for the seller. But there you go. Early portraits are always popular. Check out this. So those who know me know for a long time, I was almost primarily a croc dealer at one point. Not primarily, but when I had an antique mall, at one point I had about 100 blue decorated pieces of stoneware. I love it. I don't deal in it as much anymore. But wow, that's a stunner. It's a great looking piece of pottery. Check out the inlay on this. Let me see. There we go. There's the close-up. Look at that. That's fascinating. I love that. It's a nice scalloped bottom board anyway, but God, look at that inlay. Check out those birds. That is cool. Possibly Mercer County, but Western Pennsylvania, and dated 1821. So, gotta love the dated stuff. Yes, more Zoar furniture. Another cupboard. This one I think is also walnut, but they have the history of where it was bought too. Old refinish, but I guess this is more like a jelly cupboard. 39.5 inches tall. Look at that though. 39.5 inches tall and 38 wide. So, just as wide as tall. And I got one more piece I gotta find. For those who like pottery and stoneware, check that out. I love I always enjoy the stencil birds. I've owned a couple of them. They're not like super rare, but this one is from Fredericktown, Pennsylvania, so a lot different than the normal ones you see, but that's a lovely looking bird. A nice form too. As you can see, it's a little bit wider at the bottom than it is at the top. Nice flared rip. So that's the final piece I wanted to showcase. There's a lot of stuff in this sale, and like I said, a big chunk of it's going to be uncatalogued, but you should definitely check it out. I may do a part 2 of this video with highlighting some of the uncatalogued section, and maybe highlighting the 3 or 4 things I like the best. I don't know if I'll get around to it in time, but please check out the auction yourself if you're interested. It looks to be a good one. I apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather, which is a perfect way to check out auctions online. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. Hit like and subscribe to see my other videos and to see possibly a part 2 to this. Thanks for watching. Peace.